I stopped doing all housework after my husband hired a professional organizer to teach me how to clean properly. My husband Brett and I both work full-time, but somehow I'm the only one who sees the dishes piling up or notices when we're out of toilet paper. 12 years of marriage, and I've been running this house like a second job while he acts like the laundry fairy just magically delivers clean socks to his drawer. It started small. Comments about how the kitchen towels weren't folded the right way. Questions about why I organized the pantry by type instead of height. Then one Saturday morning, I came downstairs and there was a woman in my kitchen, wearing a polo shirt with Professional Home Solutions embroidered on it. Brett was making coffee, acting like this was completely normal. He introduced her as Diane, said he'd hired her to help me develop better organizational systems for the house, like he was doing me this huge favor. Diane looked uncomfortable, but she had her tablet out, ready to evaluate my housekeeping skills like I was applying for a job in my own home. That's when something in me just snapped. Not angry snapped, just clarity snapped. This man, who couldn't tell you where we keep the light bulbs or what day the trash gets picked up, hired a stranger to grade my cleaning. I smiled at Diane and told her there must be a misunderstanding. I said Brett was clearly the one who needed help, and I had plans. I grabbed my keys and left. Spent the day at my sister Jenna's, who kept saying I should make him grovel. But I had a better idea. When I got home that night, Brett left a list on the counter for me. 17 items about how to properly clean the house I'd been cleaning by myself for over a decade. Number 6 was about the correct way to vacuum. I read it twice, then put it in the recycling bin. The next morning, Brett asked why the breakfast dishes were still in the sink. I told him I wasn't sure. Maybe he should check Diane's list. He laughed it off, thought I was joking, but I didn't wash them. Didn't make the bed either. Didn't start the laundry, or wipe down the counters, or any of the 100 small things I did every single day without being asked. Week 1, he kept asking if I was feeling okay. Week 2, he started doing small things but would leave them half finished, waiting for me to complete them. The laundry sat damp in the washer until it smelled like mildew. Week 3, he ran out of clean work shirts and had to buy new ones at lunch. Week 4, we had fruit flies because he didn't know you can't just leave trash until the bag is completely full. His mom came over unannounced and you could see her brain short circuit at the state of the place. She pulled me aside, whispering about how I needed to keep up appearances. Brett stood right there and said nothing. Didn't tell her he'd hired someone to teach me to clean. Just let her assume I'd stopped caring. My coworker, Rachel, saw Brett at the grocery store at 9 p.m. on a Wednesday, completely lost in the cleaning supplies aisle. My neighbor asked if we were moving because of all the trash bags. Brett's friend Troy came over, took one look around, and I heard him ask Brett if I'd left him. But here's what nobody bothered to ask. Where was Brett's list of chores? Why wasn't anyone wondering why a grown man needed his wife to manage every aspect of his own home? His mother didn't pull him aside. Rachel didn't text him. Troy didn't question why his friend was living in filth, despite having 2 working hands. Around week 6, Brett came home with groceries, actually put them away, and started cleaning the kitchen. No comments, no requests for help, just did it. Wasn't even doing it right by Diane's standards, but he did it. The next day, he tackled the bathroom. Took him 2 hours to do what took me 30 minutes. Month 3, we'd fallen into this rhythm where he just did half of everything. I watched him discover that the vacuum needs to be emptied, that laundry needs soap and fabric softener, that meal planning actually requires planning. One night, he apologized. Not a quick sorry, but the kind where he actually got what he'd done. Said he'd called Diane to apologize to her too. Said he finally understood that I'd been doing the work of 2 people while he acted like a critic with a clipboard. I asked him if he still had the list. He did. Folded up in his wallet. I told him to throw it away. He said he kept it to remind himself how insane he'd been. How every item on that list was something I'd been doing without being told, without praise, without anyone checking if I was doing it correctly. Last week, Brett suggested we hire a cleaning service. Not to teach me how to clean, but because neither of us should spend our weekends scrubbing baseboards. He showed me the options and let me decide.